Well, thank you for joining us for Talking Wanderers. It's back to league action this week with Wanderers going to West Brom, where they'll look to build on the last victory against Stoke City. Well, boys, it's back to the real football this weekend and some Premiership stuff. A lot of Bolton fans going down to West Brom, and it's a good chance for Bolton to get out of the relegation zone, isn't it?
Well, if they can't build on the last result, then something's wrong, isn't it? But I think it just came at a bad time for them, didn't it? The sort of momentum was there, and you kind of want to be getting straight back out there and getting on the pitch and getting another result. But hopefully, you know, they've had a bit of a rest up and maybe not quite so much pressure going into this game as there have been on a few others now, and hopefully a good opponent to be facing as well, really.
I think, like Mark says, the international break came at a really bad time. The last thing they wanted would have been 2 weeks off. The place would have been buzzing, but it's still better going into one of these breaks on the back of a victory rather than like a poor defeat at Swansea or something. So they'll go down there. It won't be easy, and I think the key now for Bolton is to get a bit of an unbeaten run going. I don't think, you know, obviously if they win and there's victories, that's great, but not to lose games. Yeah. So if they come back with a point, I think that everyone will be happy.
Yeah. And I mean, everybody always talks about the teams at the top and the big games, but West Brom, the Hawthorns, can create some atmosphere, and with the number of Bolton fans going down there, we can expect a bit of noise, can't we?
I think so. I think they've booked out quite a few coaches. I think the club are laying on travel. They realise how important it is at the minute to try and get ahead of steam up, I think, and you know, there's quite a few fans heading down there. We've sold out our allocation. You know, as you say, West Brom's usually a good atmosphere anyway. It's one of those quite tight grounds and a good home support there. But Bolton have got a very good record there in recent years. I've seen some good performances, so there's every chance to think that'll happen again.
Yeah. Any team news? Early team news?
Anything, Liam?
I'd be staggered if he didn't start the same team. That obviously came off the back of the result. I think the big question will be not so much personnel but formation. Whether he goes with the 4-4-2 attacking or he reverts to the 4-5-1 that he's been using at home this season. In which case he's got a tough decision to make up front. Who's going to lead the line? Obviously Klasnic, 2 goals, excellent. You'd have thought it'd be him, but is he the type of striker who can lead the line on his own? So maybe it'd be Kevin Davies.
I don't think he'll tinker with it at all. I think if you look at West Brom, in the similar situation as Wigan, you know, they're quite an open team. They're quite well set in what they do. So he won't have any surprises on that front. I think he can go to West Brom and take the game to them rather than worry too much about what's going to be coming the other way.
We did a piece about Klasnic, didn't we, a couple of days ago. There was an Opta stat which made him the most accurate marksman with 14 shots on target out of 15 this year, put him top of that particular league table. He is a class act, isn't he, when it comes down to finishing in the box?
He really comes alive in the penalty area. Obviously the thing against that is he does relatively little elsewhere, but certainly in the box he's brilliant. And if there's one player in the Bolton team you want to get a chance to fall to, it's Ivan Klasnic.
He has that mechanical left foot, doesn't he, that just seems to work every time.
Well, it's sweet, isn't he? And I thought that second goal he scored, was it the second or his first one from the edge of the area? It was a fantastic finish, and you're not seeing many better.
I like the header. It reminded me of Hernandez last year with that back header. This was a sort of instinctive header. He knew where the goal was and knew how to deflect it.
He's got that about his game, hasn't he? He just knows where that goal is. But I think he's got a subtle touch about him elsewhere as well. The touch he played through to Eagles as well for, I think it was his second one. It was lovely, and you just want to get him by the neck and just get that every week, you know, because it does seem to be. You know, one week he'll be sublime, the next week, as with a few other players, let's face it, it seems to be a bit different.
Now, right back, obviously, if young Joe Riley does play, it's away from home, it's a proper test, this one, isn't it? But and it looks like he's in pole position after his performances on his league debut. But there's Sam Ricketts on his way back, obviously, not for this weekend, but you know, we could do with a little bit of competition, can't we?
I think so. I think there's probably 4 lads there. Two, 3 that are injured now. I mean, Greta Steinson seems to be out of the picture. But Joe, you know, it was a thorough test last time out against Stoke as well, and he passed it with flying colours. There's no reason to believe that he shouldn't go straight in again. I think probably Chris Brunt, somebody like that, will be up against him, or you know, a proven Premier League player. So he'll get maybe a different test than he would against Stoke, but certainly. we've seen signs that he's capable, and you know it's up to him to step up now and say this is my shirt. You know,
the truth is, whoever they play in the Premier League, he's going to be a test, isn't it? Whether it, you know, the week after it's Everton, I don't know, he'll come up against someone there, whether it's Zaha pulling out that way, whoever, it's going to be a test. The thing is now, for me, he's got 6 weeks probably before Ricketts comes back and pushing for a place, and that's his spot now. Steinson's fallen so far out of favour. You know, it'd take a real disastrous performance from him to thingy. So it's just about going on. He's got that confidence that he's going to get a run of games, and hopefully he'll go on and take his chance.
And Ricketts, you know, he's going to be taking time. I think he's said today that he's going to be back on Thursday with the reserves, training properly for the first time, which is great news because, you know, he's a solid player and he can play anywhere across that back four. I think had Owen Coyle had him available this season, he would have played every game because, you know, he's had these little holes to fill, little, you know, people going in and out of form in his back four, and Ricketts is one of them who's solid, he's reliable, he can play anywhere, and you know, I think he'd be a great asset to the squad at the minute.
Great. Well, thanks for that, lads. Thanks for joining us at Talking Wanderers. Don't forget to join us again next week when we'll be looking back on how Bolton went on at West Brom.